Hi, welcome to Papa's Workshop. Today we're doing a two-part series using the jigsaw and the drill. And today's project, we're just going to make a old-style padlock that'll hold the keys. And I'm taking this from just a design idea to a finished project in just a few minutes. In the second project, in part 2, we're going to make a kids-style chair using just the jigsaw and the drill. So let's get started. Hi, in today's beginner series, I want to be able to answer a couple of questions. A lot of beginning woodworkers wonder just how do you get the inspiration and where do the ideas come from the projects. Well, a lot of times you just got to look around the house and see what the need is, or some cases what the want is, and then you can go from there. Today I'm going to start out with a beginning project using just the drill and the jigsaw as the only power tools that we're going to use for the projects. And one of the things that I want to be able to do is make a holder for the keys by the front door. And to be able to get the inspiration, oftentimes I'll go to old magazines, or nowadays you can go to Google and search images. And what I was looking for was an old style padlock. And once I looked at those different images, then it's time to start sketching the ideas out. And all I do is just grab a piece of paper, having those ideas in my head, and I'll start sketching. And as I'm sketching my design, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can see this side here is not really symmetrical with the other side, but that's okay. It's just to get the idea. The other thing is, after I drew this, I'm going to put in 6 hooks. And I can use either hooks, or I could use even little dowel rods to be able to hold the keys. Now right now these are not evenly spaced, but it does give me the idea on what I want to accomplish. And the other thing, after I have a drawing like this, I start to look at it and I say, you know what, I really would like this a little bit longer. So what I can do is literally just extend the sides down a little bit and then do the same thing. Sketch this back in. And I do this until I get a shape like I want. And again, this is just a guide, because now what I have to be able to do is transfer this image over to a piece of wood. Now the wood that I'm using today is going to be a 1x6. And it's just a scrap piece of wood that I have in the shop. And I'm going to transfer this over, and we're going to sketch it out. To start this design, to be able to transfer it over to this wood, if I had an exact drawing, I could actually use carbon paper and actually trace it. But since this is a very loosely designed, just kind of an idea of the concepts, what I'm going to do is just actually draw the object onto the wood itself. And to do that, I'm going to use some fancy designs here, or tools here, to be able to get my angle or curves that I want to be able to have in here. And I'm going to start out with this reference line right here. And I'll just put this paint can up, get that centered in there. And make my line, and then I'll just connect the two arcs together. And that will give me the bottom part of the lock. Now I said I wanted to extend this down, and this is actually not a bad measurement. So if I just kind of loosely line this up, then I want another reference line right about here. And that's going to be where the top part of my lock is going to go into it. Now then, to be able to make this work, I need to have an arc here. Now to create this arc, I'm just using another bottle cap, and I'm going to just set that right down here, and we'll just sketch that in. So there's that side. So I just set it right there and make my little drawing. Now then, this is just going to come straight on down. So I can just draw that in there. And I can draw this one, the top of my arc, draw that in. So all I need to do now is just create the top part. Now the other thing that I want to be able to do is where's my center line on this. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark a center line. This is 5.5 inches, so that's 2 3/4. And I'm going to give a 2 3/4 inch mark down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect those lines together. Oops. Now then, now I've got a center line drawn because I need to be able to create this arc. And the first arc that I need, this is going to be about perfect. Right about there. So you can see this is real scientific. But what I do want to make sure of is that this is equal distance. So that is about 3/4 of an inch. And this side right at 3/4 of an inch. So there we go. Now we've got this arc in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect this line. There we go. The only line remaining is this one right here. Now I know that these two sides here and here are both 3/4 of an inch. And when I make this arc, I'd like for this to be 3/4 of an inch also. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure that out for 3/4 of an inch. And then it's time to make an arc. So if I put that right there, one of the things that I can do is just come over and have a little reference line right here at the top also. And I can use this one, put it right in here. Do the same thing on this side. And I already have that connected, and that's actually not bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and darken in this line. That will give a nice arc. It does have a little bit of a flat top on there, but you know what? That's not bad. Now the next thing we need to do is put the keyhole in here for the lock. If we go back to the drawing, I've got a little keyhole in here that can be really any size that I want. And what I want to do is with the drill, I'm going to drill that hole with the Forstner bit. And we will put that right about there for the center. And we'll make the hole. And I'm going to say a 1/2 inch hole is what we're going to do. And then we'll sketch out I think that'll look pretty good. Let's make sure that our lines are square. That's going to look good. We'll connect this line after I get the holes drilled. And then all we'll need to do is just lay out where my hooks will go for the keys. So now that we've got the pattern drawn, and it actually looks pretty close to our original drawing, I'm going to go ahead and take the jigsaw now, and we're going to cut out the outside of this pattern, and then I'm going to put a hole over here and then use the jigsaw and cut out the inside. Now to drill the hole, I'm just going to use a 1/2 inch spade bit or a paddle bit to drill this. Now I'm going to use a scrap little block of wood to put behind it so it will help prevent the tear out. Now that I've got a hole here, I can flip it over and finish drilling it, and that will eliminate the tear out completely. And there we go. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take the jigsaw and cut around this inner circle. So there you have my key holder already cut out with virtually no tear out anywhere, and it's going to require a minimal amount of sanding. Okay, now that I've got everything sanded, this is looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and put the hole in here, and I think I'm going to make this hole larger, because what I'm going to do, the only hooks that I have are actually a hook that's probably too large for this, and I only have 4 of them. So I'm going to lay this out where I had the 4 hooks that I'm going to put in it, and I'm going to put this keyhole, I'm going to make this keyhole actually a little bit larger. So rather than using a 1/2 inch Forstner bit, I'm going to use this 3/4 inch Forstner bit to drill the hole. Now again, I'm using the backer board to be able to support this, and I still have my center line. So I'm going to put that right here on the center. And we're going to drill this. I really like using the Forstner bit because it does make for a very clean hole. But I am going to touch it up just a little bit with the sandpaper. Now what I want to do is just lay out for the bottom portion of that keyhole slot, and I'm just going ahead and marking the bottom point first, and then I'll just use the ruler and connect the 2 lines to the hole itself. Now I'm marking a line left and right of my center line, and then I'm just using that point and connecting that to the hole that I just made. Now this can be of any design that you want, so there's really nothing special here. All I'm doing is just sketching this out so it looks pleasing to the eye. Okay, now I've got my keyhole drawn. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out with the jigsaw as well. And there we go. We've got our keyhole made. I'm going to touch that up with the sandpaper, then I'm going to lay out the holes and pre-drill for the 4 hooks. To lay out for the 4 hooks, I'm just working off of the center line and having it where it's evenly spaced, both top and bottom and left and right. Now there's really no set way to be able to do this. It's completely up to you as to how you want to lay out these hooks. So this is going to be the location for my 4 holes. Here, here, there, and here. So I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but that's going to be the locations for the holes. I'm going to pre-drill those now, and then we'll be able to screw these in. One of the things I like to do is use an awl and just put a mark, and that will help keep the drill bit from wandering. So there we go. We'll slip the drill bit in. And pre-drill the holes. I'm going to go ahead and sand these lines off. Okay, with all the guidelines removed, this is the time where you can go ahead and finish this any way that you want. Whether you want to paint it and make it look old time, if you want to stain it, this is completely up to you. And what I'm going to do is just go ahead and screw these in And what I would recommend is a smaller hook. But again, this is a hook that I had in the shop already. And I'm going to go ahead and use it, even though it's a little bit large. And there we go. So in a matter of just a very few minutes, we've been able to turn an idea into a project. Okay, this video is getting a little bit long, but we've been able to finish our key holder today, and we took this idea from nothing but just an idea to a finished project in just a few minutes. Now remember, this is part one. In part two, we're going to be using a drill and the jigsaw again to be able to make a kid's chair. And if you like the videos, please go ahead and consider hitting the subscribe button and the little bell notification next to it. And also, if you'd like to be able to support the channel directly, please consider joining the Patreon family. Once I reach 20 members in the Patreon family, I'm going to be doing a monthly live stream, one-on-one questions and answers with me just for the Patreon members. So again, thanks a lot for watching the videos today, and don't forget, check out the videos over here to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop.